Hi, nerds! It's KatyJ the Indigo, and here we are for another episode of Nerd Girls Rock. Are you ready? Okay, so today our episode is going to be about we're going to talk about empaths and being tangry. Katie, what the fuck is tangry? Okay, so tangry is tired and angry. Okay, the person is either angry because they're tired, or they're tired because they're angry all the time. Now, what causes this? Okay, so, and what does that have to do with empaths? Well, as we all know, some of you don't know, everybody has the ability to be empathic or to feel empathy. However, some people are born with the ability a little bit stronger than others, okay? And these are the people that we call empaths. These are the ones that can feel everything. They can feel people's emotions, changes in the electromagnetic field, no matter what it's about, no matter what it has to do with. These people have the ability to change how you feel and manipulate your emotions and kind of get you in a better spirit or bring you down. They can either give you energy or drain your energy. These are actually really powerful people that we have, and they do exist in the world. I happen to be one of them. Um, Hello, fellow empaths. So when you're dealing with a person like that, and we also take on a lot of energy on a daily basis. So I know we don't really think about it, but do you have that friend in your life that you just dump all your emotional baggage on, and afterwards you're all like, thank you so much, you're always there for me, but you never really consider or ask them about how they're feeling? Yeah, so we all have that friend that you just, you don't, you notice that they don't really talk about how they're feeling, or they don't share too much with you. They kind of keep everything inside. But you notice that when people talk about how they're feeling, they will cry with you. They will get angry for you. They will get angry with you. They will even feel the need to help you in this situation as if they are going through it themselves. But you never really consider how they're doing. You're just grateful that they're there. Okay? Trust me when I say you're not the only one that does that to them. Or if you are that friend, you know that there's more than one person who relies on you to be their kind of emotional bag check person, where they just kind of dump all their bull onto you, and then you're left with all these emotions, and they're like, oh, thank you, I feel so much better. Well, let me tell you guys what happens to that friend, okay? Because a lot of people don't even think about what happens to that friend after you do that, okay? So they're walking around with all these emotions, all these feelings. They're carrying your things for you. They're keeping your secrets. They're managing and navigating through your emotions for you. They're like emotional GPS. And that sucks for that person, because taking on all that can lead to them feeling empathic tangryness, which after a while, all that going on, carrying all these emotions, that takes a lot of energy. They use a lot of energy on a daily basis. I know it seems like this person is always upbeat or whatever, and then you come across them one day and you're just like, wow, you look like crap. And they don't have the typical response. They don't have like that, oh really, oh my god, well come with me to the bathroom, help me get myself together. Or oh yeah, no, I was just tired today, I said screw it, I just came out in my PJs or whatever. They don't have the typical response. Instead, they might flip you off. They might go screw you, okay? I have feelings too. And you're just like, whoa, where'd that come from? Because that person, that's when an empath has reached their cap. Okay, there's no more room for them to carry your emotions for you. They can't take on anything else, and from doing so they are tired. A lot of times they get hit with a lot of negative energy, and they will just absorb it like a sponge. Some of them absorb it, and then you have others like me that have the ability to take it on and turn it into positive energy before we put our energy back out into the world. That is exhausting, okay? It's something that kind of happens. We work very hard to be able to do that. It's something that you have to develop a skill for. But once you learn how to do it, it's just redirecting the way that your body processes energy. That's it. But it takes a lot of extra energy. It's like it's like taking transforming negative energy into positive energy and then releasing it back out into the world. Is kind of like turning water into wine. Okay? It's really, yeah, you try doing that. All right? It's super hard. It's not impossible. It's just really hard. And it sounds like an easy process, and it can happen really quickly once you learn how to do it. But in the meantime, even someone like me gets extremely exhausted from doing that, because you are upbeat, because you are such a great person, because you amazingly impact people's lives, they like having you around. You have this innate ability to make people feel comfortable. And while that's great, it also opens the door for people to dump all their negativity on you. And when you do that to an empath and they take it in, after a while, they start to get tired. They get tired and they get angry because it's like, wait a minute, I'm a person too. Where are you guys when I need a shoulder to cry on? And then it's also frustrating because not a lot of people can understand the thinking of an empath. Not a lot of people can really relate to what empaths feel on a daily basis. So it's very hard to find somebody that's not only interested in the conversation, but can understand where you're coming from. And that causes an empath to be tangry. Okay? Just putting that out there. Now, one of the ways that you can deal with this, if you have that friend, or if you are the empathic friend that's just there for everybody else, listen very carefully. I'm going to teach you how to deal with this, okay? So, number one, make sure, and this is the most important part when you're an empath, make sure you take your personal time and you take your personal space. Do not let anyone make you feel guilty about saying no. No, I'm not going to be there for you today. No, I'm not going to answer my phone. No, we're not having this conversation. Why? Because I'm tangry, okay? I'm tired and I don't want to get to the tangry phase. I just want to, can we just exist for a minute together? Or can I just exist within myself for a little while and be in my own space? Empaths need time to manage and regulate their electromagnetic field, adjust their aura, because when their aura gets messed up, so does the rest of the world. I know that seems like an exaggeration, but it is the 100% honest to God truth. Like, have you ever noticed that when your empathic friend is having a bad day, it seems like the whole day goes to pot? Or let's say that friend is feeling angry and they're feeling that negativity, and you guys might be having a great time until that person walks in the room, and then it's like a dark cloud entered the room. And that's not typical of that person. Well, they are officially tangry, okay? That person needs time. They need their space. So if you're an empath, take that space. Take the time to take care of you, to deal with your emotional baggage, to leave some of it behind, dump it off. Like, we have a tendency to carry things with us that just are not necessary. Let it go. It's fine. We have a tendency to hold on to like petty, minuscule things, or things that definitely do not belong to us. Like, our friend might be over it and you're still mad at the other friend. It's like, I remember 5 years ago, they betrayed you. Like, because to us, it speaks to the person, like, is the kind of person that they are. But remember, you're not the one that was involved in the situation. It had nothing to do with you. So it's okay to let it go. Drop it. Okay. Another thing, if you have that friend, one of the ways that you can help them deal with that is by opening the door and letting them know that it's okay for them to have that moment. Give them the space and give them that and provide that environment for them where they feel comfortable sharing their feelings, letting them know that you can be that friend too. that you can be the shoulder that they need to cry on. And if you're not sure you're going to understand, there's plenty of resources. There's all kinds of books and YouTube channels and things like that that you can use to educate yourself so that you can be a better friend for your empath, okay? Or a better partner for your empath, okay? And then you can do things like when you start to see them, because there are warning signs. For example, when an empath starts to get sick and they're typically a physically fit and healthy person, that's a sign that they're getting to the point where it's getting to be too much. So, as that friend, as the partner, encourage them to take that space. Hey, let's go for a walk. Let's go on vacation. How about we just play hooky today? PJs and Netflix, okay? Bottles of wine, whatever. Let's go to a paint and sip. Provide that for them, or try to give them suggestions on how to deal. Don't let them get to that point. Like that's the best way to combat it, is not even let it get to that point. If you notice that your empath is functioning slower than usual, or they're experiencing some type of a form of disorientation, like if they seem disoriented or if they're forgetting things or whatever, it's a sign. And this is a pretty mentally organized person. Take note of that. It's a sign that they're getting tired. It's a sign that it's getting to be too much. So open that door for them. Get them out of there. Go do something relaxing. Go do something fun. If it's your wife or whatever, send her to the spa for a day. Like, don't let it get to that point. If you are that empath, like I said, same thing. Don't let it get to that point. Look for these signs in yourself. If you notice that your gaze is locking, and this is typical of people that are experiencing exhaustion in the first place, but for empaths, it's different. It's not the fact that you're sleepy. It's the fact that like your brain is on overload and it shuts down randomly for short periods of time. I experience this sometimes. Like I might be in the middle of a conversation and I'll stare off into space and I'm not thinking of anything. I'm not distracted at all. It's just the fact that my brain was like, okay, I think I've collected about as much information from this conversation as I can handle, and I have no more space. So I'm going to blank out for like 0.2 seconds. I'm going to archive the rest of this, and then we're going to jump back in when I feel like I have enough space. Like, I know it sounds rude and it's totally outside of our control. I'm telling you now, if you have an empathic friend that does that and you're just like, are you listening to me? Don't get mad. That's a sign that that person maybe doesn't have it in them to deal with your emotional baggage that day. And instead of getting upset with them, try being a better friend and considering the fact that, you know what? I dump my crap on them all the time. And you don't really think about what empaths go through, because we do seem like upbeat, happy people all the time. We seem like we're masters at dealing with bull, but it takes a lot of energy to do that. It takes a lot of energy to just be indestructible all the time. It takes a lot of energy to appear that way. It takes a lot of energy to just convert that into positivity and usable energy. Like, it takes a lot. So you got to be considerate, and that takes brain power too. Like, just like our brain helps the rest of our body function, that takes a thought process. That takes sending messages and rewiring synapses in the brain. Like, that takes neurons firing off at all cylinders, okay? Like, that's a lot. That's a lot. So you might want to consider that. If you have an empathic friend, or if you are that empath, do not let them get tangry on you. Like, it will happen, and you need to look out for these warning signs. If they're moving a bit slower than usual, if they're a typically active person and they're just like, no, you know what, I don't want to do anything. If this person, I remember one time, I love to dance. I'm not tooting my own horn here, but my friend said that I'm an amazing dancer, and I love to dance. And you would always find me out on the dance floor all night long. If I went out with my friends, I never stopped moving. I don't care if I was at the bar and it was just a shimmy. Like, I would shimmy my ass off. Like, or maybe I had a little bit too much to drink. I would sit in the freaking chair and still be moving. That's probably not the best idea, but I did it because I love to dance. Now, at some point, I was dealing with a lot in my life. I was dealing with a lot of other people's crap. I was constantly being there for others and helping them work through their relationships and their problems and their friendships and their families. And I was driving myself insane. But I would not show it though. I was like, yeah, screw that. I'm not, weakness is not in me. But instead of thinking of it as weakness, I should have been more considerate of myself and said, hold on, Katy, you are experiencing empathic exhaustion. But I would not get up for like weeks when I went out with my friends. I just kind of, and it wasn't because I was physically tired. I just didn't really feel up to it. Usually I paint all the time. I didn't want to paint anything. I just felt like it wasn't even a sleep. I just wanted to, not even sleep. I just wanted to lay there for a while and just not watch TV, not read, not do anything, just kind of lay there and just exist within myself for a little while. And at the time, I wasn't exactly sure as to what was going on. I just knew that I needed space. And I would feel like a jerk because sometimes I wouldn't answer my friends' phone calls. I really didn't want to. And I'd be like, am I a bad friend for that? And then there was a side of me that went, no, because you're always there. They'll be fine without you for 24 hours. They'll be fine without you for like a week. If you want to take some time, and that's how I'm telling all empaths out there, do not let anyone make you feel guilty for taking that. Take as much time as you need. And if they really love you and if they really care about you, they will allow you that time. They will not take it personally. They might just check on you every now and again and say, hey, dude, are you alive? Like, those are the good friends. Aside from that, they will give you that space. They might even ask you, is there anything that we can do to help? 9 times out of 10, probably not, other than not be there, which sounds like really messed up, but it's the truth. Like, because when you're even, here's what people don't understand. Even when you're in the same room with an empath, you don't have to say anything. You don't have to share your story. They're experiencing your emotions. When we look into your eyes, we see your life story. It's not something that we can control. Some of them can. I'm still working on it. But it's not something that I want to control because it helps me deal with people in a much better way. It helps me understand everybody better, and it helps me conduct myself better in life in general. So I'm not one of those people that wants to like learn how to not let that happen. I enjoy it. But there are those out there that put up the extra energy to make sure that that doesn't happen. And it's called shielding. Okay. We use our own energy to kind of solidify, build a force field, if you will, so that we're not affecting others and others are not affecting us. But that also takes a lot of energy. Could be another reason why your empath is extremely exhausted. If they're one of those ones who puts up a shield and they hold it up on a daily basis, look, okay, I've done it. It is extremely exhausting, okay? That, think of it as, why when the Invisible Woman, when she holds up a force field or whatever and her nose bleeds in the movies, like she's exhausted. She gets tired because it takes she's putting out a lot of energy. She's using her own energy from her body to do that. And depending on how heavy the object is, it's like trying to lift it with your physical body. Okay? And that takes a lot. You think of how much energy you've used, like if you're fighting or whatever, and when you get finished, you're just like, man, I could really use a nap. Screw that guy. Like, I want to go to sleep. Like, it's the same difference for empaths. Or when we deal with difficult people or negative people, it's the same difference. By the end of it, we're just like, look, I'm tired. I want to go to bed. Or if you have an empathic partner and after you guys argue, they want to take a nap, but you're just like, you jerk, how can you go to sleep after that? They just used a lot of energy, especially if your empath was able to keep you calm throughout the situation and they were calm themselves and to keep everything neutral. Can you imagine how much energy that takes, especially take into consideration the type of person that you are? Are you one of those people that is really hot-headed, they have a really high temper, or, you're triggered easily? Like, Imagine how much energy your empath is using to try to keep you at a neutral level so that you guys can have a positive interaction and a productive one. That takes a lot. So the point of all this is just to make you guys aware. As I said, Nerd Girls is about sharing information, putting it out there. And that's another thing too. A lot of people don't know that a lot of nerd girls are actually empaths. And that's why they're so compassionate, and that's why they're so open-minded, and that's why we go through the crap that we go through in life. And that's what this show is about, exposing the tea of nerd girl life. Like, oh my God, I can't. It's like guys out there, if you've ever cheated on a nerd girl or any woman in general, anybody, and you're like, how did they know? I know I didn't leave any evidence. I know I cleaned up after myself. I know I wasn't acting any differently. It's because they're an empath. And collecting that kind of information from you is a heavy hit to their soul. And it takes a lot of energy to continue on in the relationship as if nothing is going on, because they're not sure. Like, it's like they know, but you're right. Maybe you are good at covering it up, but they know regardless. And it takes a lot to go through the relationship acting like everything is fine. And they have this feeling in the pit of their stomach that you are not trustworthy. That makes a person tired. It does. Makes them tangry. And then you wonder why you come home one day and there's no dinner on the table and you're just like, hey, what's going on? And they turn on like, you tell me. Like, they're tired. Because, I mean, on top of going out here in the world and doing everything that they do and dealing with everything they deal with and feeling everybody's emotions and they have to deal with that. Or when you lie to an empath, how do you know? How do they know? Oh my God. We can feel it. You can tell when you're lying. Empaths are human lie detectors. If you thought you got away with it, it's because we let you think that. You did not get away with it. We don't believe you. We know you're lying. Okay? That makes us tired because it's like, freaking why? It's upsetting. And being upset is a tiring feeling for anybody. It puts that rift of distrust. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that to a person. So I'm going to close this video out, but just think about that. The next time you want to go dump all your emotional baggage on your friend, or the next time you're feeling a little exhausted and that friend that likes to dump things on you comes to you, and you know what? Skirt. I love you. Okay? Not here today. Like, I'm not here for that today. Okay? If you have one of those friends you can joke around like that, go, not today, Satan! Like, just no. If you have someone in your life that likes to bring you negativity, no. It's okay. It's okay. Whatever way you want to say no that makes you feel comfortable. If you just want to say, dude, get the fuck away from me. Like, do it. Do it. Okay? It is okay for you to express yourself and let people know that you're a person too. That you have feelings too. That you need to process your emotions just like everybody else. You may not be like everybody else. You may not process them the same way that everybody else does. But you do need the opportunity to do it. You have a right to these privileges. You have a right to them. It's okay for you to do that. It's okay for you to take space. Everybody needs their little alone time. Everybody needs alone time. It's okay. Just no matter what, do not allow yourself to get tangry. Don't allow your partner to get tangry. Do not allow your friend to become tangry. Okay? Just don't do it. It's not a good look. A tangry empath affects everybody. Nobody has a good day when an empath is tangry. Okay? So I want you guys to keep that in mind. Make sure that you guys, I'm going to suggest a book to everybody. I've been reading it lately and it's super awesome. Okay? This book will explain everything that I'm saying to you in detail. Boom. Okay, there you go. That's reading time for you guys. All right. And what that talks about is the same thing I was just talking about. All these things are real, okay? Everything in life carries energy. Energy affects the physical. Okay? And that's what that book talks about. It goes into it in detail on a scientific and spiritual level. So if you guys are interested in that, you want to understand it a little bit better, I suggest you picking up that book and reading it immediately. Aside from that, again, thank you guys so much for your support. Don't forget, make a mental note right there. For you guys to like, share, subscribe, comment. I look forward to it. Of course, I'll be coming out with a new video soon. Love you guys. Peace.